The author that I chose is Agnon. He wrote a poem called A Ghost is Someone, and a ghost is someone who's died but has never been forgotten or let go of. He says that he sees her potter's field, which is red with ashes from the dead, and she no longer sparkles off in smoke, and the sizzling gate left charred furrows and ate into her hip. When the author says a black nail dangles from her fingertip, what comes to your mind? Do you think of a skeleton? Do you think of her as a person, even though she's dead? Like, what comes to your mind? Her thumb bones rattle like bones clacking together on a skeleton, and her hands are so brittle and fragile. Cynthia, who's the girl in the poem, she hisses and demands to be placed by the crossroads and to have no fear whatsoever. It gives you chills when you read it, and if you don't believe in ghosts, then I think that you would after you read this poem. Agamemnon was the king of Mycenae, and he was the leader of the Greek army in the Trojan War of Homer's Iliad. He was a great warrior, and he was also a selfish ruler. He was the son or grandson of Atreus, which means the father would be Plasthenes. His mother was Arope, and she was from Crete. His wife was Clytemnestra, I think. He had 3 daughters, Chrysanthemis, Laidas, and Iphnassa. He was the brother of Menelaus, who was the king of Sparta. He was born before 1524 BCE, so he really didn't have, nobody really knew when he was born. He was born in Mycenae, and he died by Aegisthus. His major works include being the army leader of the Trojan War, and he was the king, and there was a play named after him, which was called the Agamemnon. Heinrich Schliemann was the one who influenced him because he had excavated Mycenae and Troy. He influenced the men that he led in the army because of his will and power of the man that he was. He taught the men as well as he encouraged them. He got to see the Trojan War because he was a leader of it, so that's kind of what was happening in his lifetime. There was also incest, murder, and cannibalism. The impact he made was that he was the king and the leader, and he also helped men during the war, and he did not leave anything behind that I could find. I researched and researched and researched, but I couldn't find anything that he had left behind. I think he was a good man because of the impacts that he had made, and just overall a good man. He seems to have had a great family and a great life, but things were different back then, so his great could not have been our great. Overall, he was a good man, a good husband, and a good dad. I believe he was very important in his lifetime because he made things a little easier for the men that he influenced, so that kind of makes me think that he was a good man. And I also have my works cited page, which was ancient.eu, Britannica, and our book that we use for this class.